Good afternoon. Praise Yahuah. Hallelujah, Yahuah. Shalum. Sorry for butchering all the names and the soundings of text, by the way. This is Exodus, Shemath, Exodus 1. And these are the names of the children of Yashar'al who came to Mitzrayim, Egypt, the border of Africa, with Jacob, James, each one with his household: Reuben, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, Yissaschar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, named after two pagan idols. God, the pagan idol of fortune from Genesis 30:11, forgetting Yahuah for God. Isaiah 65:11, God is also known as troop in the KJV. Troop literally means God, so I'm not just saying that that's what it would be in the KJV. No, that's what it is. It's the pagan idol of fortune. To worship money is to love God. That's why in the back of the US dollar of all things it says, "In God we trust." You know how ironic that is. It's not talking about the creator Yahuah. It's actually the first idol that Yashar'al created. The golden calf is also called God, the idol of fortune. Why it was made out of gold. And Asher was after the pagan idol happy. You could say glad. There's so many things you could say. I like glad. Well, until I learn the things about it. The English language is garbage. But anyways, these are the tribes of Yashar'al, by the way. Right, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and Jacob. And then Yosef. My bad. So 12. The 12 tribes of Yashar'al who came to Mitzrayim, right? They weren't born in Egypt. They weren't born in Africa. They were born in the Middle East. They went into Africa, were enslaved. Yahuah saved them, and then they crossed over the Red Sea back into the Middle East. So you can tell the Red Sea's been there a long time. So this idea that the Red Sea was just some man-made thing not too long ago doesn't make much sense when it's clearly in the scriptures in this exact time right here in Exodus 1. So you know it's been there before Exodus 1. But anyways, hallelujah, Yahuah. So yes, each one with his household: Reuben, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, Yissaschar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all those who were descendants of Jacob were 70 beings, as Yosef was already in Mitzrayim. And Yosef died, and all his brothers, and all that generation, and the children of Yashar'al were fruitful and increased very much, multiplied and became very strong, and the land was filled with them, kind of like we are filled with people who came over here after we came over here. But people over here are going to do the exact same thing that the people of Mitzrayim did because of fear. Do not be afraid of your fellow human. And the children of Yashar'al were fruitful and increased very much, multiplied and became very strong, and the land was filled with them. Then a new sovereign arose over Mitzrayim, who did not know Yosef, and he said to his people, "See, the people of the children of Yashar'al are more and stronger than we." Just think about right now while I'm reading this. Don't do this. Come, let us act wisely towards them, lest they increase. And it shall be, when fighting befalls us, that they shall join our enemies and fight against us, and shall go up out of this land. Like, you're afraid that they're going to leave the land. That's your biggest concern. Well, no, that's not their biggest concern. They're afraid that there's so many of them that they'll take over the land. But they're going to say, go up out of the land. But trust me, if Mitzrayim was defeated and this giant army was standing there, they're not just going to leave off with them. They're going to be like, well, this is our land now. You know, most nations do that. When they take over, they don't just leave. They stay. Little bits of them stay anyways. At least their laws stay. So they set slave masters over them to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom and Rameses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they increased and grew, and they were in dread of the children of Yashar'al because they abused them. They have very good right to feel dread. When you abuse people, you have every right to be afraid. And the Mitzrites made the children of Yashar'al serve with harshness, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all kinds of work in the field. All their work which they made them do was with harshness. Then the sovereign of Mitzrayim spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of one was Shiphrah and the name of the other Puah. I heard this message from another teacher, another fellow human who just so happens to teach the word. Exceptional message, by the way. I cannot remember what his name is. It's like AK something. He's a black guy with a beard that's gray. He used to be in the military in the U.S. I cannot remember his name to save my life, but very good message. It was on TikTok, so, I mean, use that information to find him if you want to listen to him. It's pretty awesome. I also am following him on TikTok, so I don't know if you can look at that kind of stuff. He's on YouTube, too. Yeah, anyways. And he said, when you deliver the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stools, if it is a son, then you shall put him to death. But if it is a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared Yahuah and did not do as the sovereign of Mitzrayim commanded them, and they kept the male children alive. Something that he pointed out that made me really, I forgot about this, but at this time, Egypt or Mitzrayim was the strongest nation in the entire world. Like, the whole world came to them for grain for 7 years, almost. Or was it 5 years? 7 years of scarcity of food, yeah. 7 years the world came to Egypt, Mitzrayim, for food. They were the strongest nation in the world at that time. And these two women defied him because he was talking about killing children, because killing children is wrong, no matter where you do it. Hallelujah, Yahuah. Fear Yahuah is where the Baruchins are. Not fearing man, fearing Yahuah. But the midwives feared Yahuah and did not do as the sovereign of Mitzrayim commanded them, and kept the male children alive. So the sovereign of Mitzrayim called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done this and kept the male children alive? And the midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Mitzrite women, for they are lively and give birth before the midwives come to them. So Yahuah was good to the midwives, and the people increased and became very numerous, almost like the stars of the heavens or the sand of the seashore or the dust of the earth, too numerous to be counted. And it came to be, because the midwives feared Yahuah, that Yahuah provided households for them, and Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, throw every son who is born into the river, and keep alive every daughter. I just want to point out that, a question followed by an immediate answer. So, what does it mean to fear Yahuah, to know Yahuah, to seek Yahuah, to love Yahuah? It means to keep Yahuah's Torah. And nowadays we need to keep Yahuah's Torah as proof that we love Yahuah by the only thing that saves us, the blood of Yahusha. Only one name saves, Acts 4:12. And Yahusha came in his Father's name. Yahuah, Shah, salvation. Shua means to cry out. Shah means salvation. That's why it's not Yeshua, which is Yehoshua, and Yehoshua is not Yahusha unless you're looking at this modern Hebrew garbage. Strictly ran by Judaism, which was the main cause of the exile of Yashar'al. That's not something you want to stand by. And in the last days, they're known as the Assembly of Hasatan from Revelation 2:9. So I really wouldn't suggest following that way. But anyways, praise Yahuah. Hallelujah, Yahuah. Enjoy this beautiful day and this beautiful reading. Shalom.